Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and I have a really cute card for you today using this Let's Set Sail bundle. Now, as you can see, it's a punch bundle, and it's a little sailboat. Now, where I live, I have a couple lakes by me, but nowhere where I would ever like have a boat or sail a boat or whatever. But I am addicted to these punch bundles. I think they can make some really cute cards. So of course, when I saw it in the current mini catalog, or what I call the spring mini catalog, I had to have it. And so let me show you a couple things. I've done one video on with this bundle. Let me show you a couple cards first. So if you watch my video, you've seen this card, which I think is really cute. This one, Adventure Waits. I would use this one for like a retirement card, or maybe someone got a new job or something like that. But that's what I'd use that card for. I also did another version where I put happy birthday on the inside, and I thought that was great too. And then you have a card like this that I saw on Pinterest. I think this was a Brian King card, but don't quote me, I could be wrong. I like to just make cards and play with the stamp set and see what I can come up with. And then there's this card. I know I saw this one on Pinterest, but there again, I can't even remember who I saw it from. But look how cute all these little boats and cards are. And then I played a little bit with this card. Now, I really liked this Heart and Home Memories and More card kits, because I think that this blue stripe like this really looks like the nautical or the fish and boat kind of stuff. So that's why I wanted to try some of that with this stamp set too, and that's where I came up with that one. The only thing I don't like about this one, honestly, is you can hardly see the words. So if I did another one like that, I'd probably change it up. But if you need a quick card, just telling somebody happy news, I don't know, whatever, I think that's a cute card. And then, now we get on to today's card, kinda. So then I came up with a card that looks like this, right? And this is one of those pop-up cards. And this is what we're going to make today. But this was my first attempt. You know how I am. If you watch my videos, I like to play a little bit first, and then I like to fix it up and show you on video how to make it better. But I really like this stamp set because you can build a scene and still keep it flat. Because for this kind of card, you can't have any bumps on here. At least you shouldn't if you want to be able to move it back and forth smooth like this. Now this is that Marvelous paper, Simply Marvelous. I think that's what it was called. It was from Celebration. You can't get it anymore. But then Stampin' Up! Came up with this Waves of the Ocean promotion, which is kind of fun to say, so if you need a kicker for the day. But anyway, this is an early release, and they have some of these little bonus products, I like to call them, down here. The Designer Series paper, the foil, and the gems, which the bundle will be in the new catalog, which goes effective May 1st, May 4th, something like that. So pretty soon we'll have a new catalog that has this in it, but these three things are while supplies last. So let me just show you those. I thought they were really pretty. We'll start with the foil. And this is Silver, Pacific Point, and Coastal Cabana. Now, whether my video will show you the right colors or not, I don't know, but it's really pretty. And as you can see, I haven't even played with this yet. Probably should have included this on my card today, but oh well. And then you have the bling that has the same colors. Love this bling here. I'm going to leave this out. We might use that on my card today. But this Designer Series paper is wow. And this is what I decided to use in the place of that Marvelous paper. So it has like this. It has all these colors, and it kind of has that water theme going on. But look how pretty this Designer Series paper is. Now, they have a video out there, and I was looking for it and having trouble finding it. But I'll look again to show you how this Designer Series paper was made. And after you watch the video, to me, you have a whole different look at the paper. And I don't know if that look being different is good or bad, but it does change the way the paper looks after you watch the video of how Stampin' Up! Made it. But let's go on to our card. So I'm going to hang on to this piece because we're going to use this again on our card now. And before, no, I have my mini cutter here. I was like, dang, I forgot my paper trimmer because we're going to have to trim this down. But I have my mini trimmer here, and we can just use that. I'm going to start, well, shall I show you the card? So you saw the one, my sample card, and then I popped it up a little bit. So the front, or stepped it up. The front looks like this. And then when you pop it up, it looks like this. And isn't that cute with that little boat on there? Love it. Love, love, love it. Now I did see Erica Serwin, I have to give her credit because she was doing the sailor knot on one of her cards with the little boat, and I loved the little sailor knot with the thread, so I'm going to add that to mine. And she got it from a Martha Stewart website, and so I'll see if I can't find that link too and add that link in the description below in case you want to make some little boat cards. I don't know. So when I cut my card here, I did the whole sheet and just scored the whole thing and then cut it in half. So I have a half a sheet of cardstock here that's already scored, and let me get my little cheat sheet out here and tell you where it's scored at. So this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 1 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, 5 1/2, 7 1/4, 8 1/4, and then 10. And hang on, because I am going to need my paper trimmer. Darn it. It's right here. At least I know where it's at, because we need to take and cut a hole in the design or in our cardstock on this 5 1/2 score line. So I'm going to take my paper in here and I'm going to line it up here at 5 1/2, and that should be exactly, so this score line here is in the groove, and then I'm going to cut from a 1/2 inch from each side, and that's going to give a little bit of extra room here, but that should make your paper slide out of the top really easy. So I'll show you what I did to my trimmer. I took a piece of just regular copy paper and glued it in here. I think this is maybe 1/4 of an inch. You might have to measure it, but that way I can see the measurements over here. So that might be something if you have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer and you're having trouble seeing these little markings over here. All you have to do is take a piece of paper here. You notice I did the same thing with grid paper up here so that I can see. Now when I go to measure, I usually look at the lines on my paper trimmer, but I can see that this is 5 inches. So that's, like I said, this is just grid paper. And I'm not sure if it's with our full sheet of grid paper or if it's with the Stampin' Up! Or no, I'm sorry, the Stamparatus size grid paper. But anyway, that might be something you want to do to your paper trimmer. Okay, on to business, Kathy. So I'm going to line this up with the 5 1/2, making sure that my score line is right here in the groove of my paper trimmer. I'm going to start at a 1/2 inch, and this is 4 1/4, like I said. So I'm going to score, or I'm going to cut, sorry, from a 1/2 inch down to 3 3/4. Right like that. And there's a little groove on the side here so you can see where you're cutting. But now I have a nice little slice in my card here, or cardstock, I guess, whatever card that I can. Oh, and while I got my trimmer out, let's go ahead and cut this paper down too. So this paper is going to be, let's get my cheat sheet out again. Let's see, right here, 4 inches by 1 1/2. And I kind of want to keep it so it's in like the order it's as a designer series paper. I don't want to mess up the measurements. So, and I want more blue on there than I do the white. So I'm going to start this way at 1 1/2, right? And it's already 4 because I cut my sample card this way. So I'm going to set this like this. Let me move stuff out of the way. So I have it lined up and ready to add to my card front before I can't talk and cut. Did you notice that I can't talk and cut at the same time? That one might be the wrong size. I wonder if I messed that one up. Nope, they're all 1 1/2. I thought, see, and now they're in the perfect order. There you can see, and I have that there. Okay, now we're done with the paper trimmer. So I'm going to go ahead so I can see about where I want my designer's or paper onto my card. I'm going to go ahead and fold on all those score lines. I'm going to start at the 5 1/2, and I'm really going to use my bone folder and get a nice crisp fold on all those score lines. Now I'll tell you, this card is not new. This card has been around for a long time. I remember when I used to do stamp camps or classes long ago, we made, the first time I ever did it was a Christmas card, and that little Christmas tree popped up where my sailboat is now, and it was a really cute card. So there's a million things you could do with a card like this. So this more or less is what the base of my card is going to look like here, and then when you close it, it's going to look like this. So I want to put designer series paper here and here, and then when it's open, I want designer series paper here. So let's go ahead and get that set. So as I unopen it, here's the bottom score line, I guess, the bottom section. I'm going to just take that piece of designer series paper that was on the bottom of my row there and just make sure, no, it goes this way. And I don't even know if I mentioned that this piece of cardstock is Pacific Point, which is just a color in my designer series paper, I think. But if you need the measurements and the score lines and all that stuff, you can go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com, and all that information is on there and right. Because if you watch my videos, you might notice that sometimes the wrong words come out of my mouth. For example, someone brought to my attention, on my last video, I said that the mini cut and emboss machine was 50% off, when actually it's only 20% off, which is still a really good deal. But, so you can't hold everything I say as perfect, I guess. I don't know if I just get nervous with the videos and that's why I say the wrong things, or if I just get excited because I'm stamping, I don't know. But there you go, so there's my card base, right? Okay, so now we want to put this knot right here is going to go right here. So I'm going to do that next. So I'm going to get my little cheat sheet here from Martha Stewart. I have a couple pieces here of this is the Fan Baker's Twine. It's from the baseball suite that's in the mini catalog, and I have a couple pieces that are just a little bit over 12 inches, and I'm going to take those actually and cut them in half because I think they're way too long and I want my knot to be just a little bit thicker. So take those and cut those in half. Now I have two pieces that are a little over 6 inches long. They're probably closer to 7.5. But I'm going to take my piece like this and this one here and kind of arc them. Now this one's going to go over and under and over like this. That is, okay, there we go. And this one's going to go over and under and over like that. Now, I really suggest if you're interested in making the knots, you don't count on my tutorial with knot making. You go visit Martha Stewart's blog or post or whatever it was, and I think that makes it a lot easier. Before I pull this tight though, I'm going to come here. Now again, we decided we want the knot right here, so I'm going to just take a glue dot. And I'm hoping I can find the center with just eyeballing it. Now I could probably measure and all that, but that's not my style. I'm going to just take a glue dot and set it right here on my card, and yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Now when I pull this tight, because I don't want it to flip over and stuff, which it might, and I'm not going to pull it too tight, but there I have a pretty good knot. I'm going to just take that knot and set it right there on my glue dot, and looky there. Isn't that cute? I think it looks really good. Then I'm going to just take some plain old Scotch tape, pull off a little piece here, and I'm going to turn this over and tape this down, making sure that I don't get the tape in the way of that slit that I cut through my card. And I'm going to just take my string and tape it down. Now it won't get in the way of our mechanism popping up, but it's in place where we want it over here and still looks, I think, pretty good. So let's do the same thing on this side. And really, I was kind of worried about tying that knot. I've only done it, what, 2 times, maybe 3, and I did pretty good. So it must not be hard, because if I can do it, Lord knows you can do it. Let's see if I got the tape too far over. Nope, I got it right on the edge. So that's, and in fact, I'm even going to trim this down so that it doesn't hang out and take any chances of getting in the way. There we go. So that's the back, and now we have that as the front. So let's do a little bit of stamping here. What are we going to stamp on? So I have a couple pieces of basic white. I have one basic white, well, I have 2, in fact. Look, there's 2 of them here. They are both 4.5, nope, let me get them right. Well, look on my blog. I believe they're 4 inches by 7 1/8. And one of them, I'm going to just leave blank, and I'm going to just put it here, which would be the back of my card. And that's going to be actually where I sign my name saying, have a happy birthday, love you, Kathy, right there. And then on this one, I'm going to use this Party Puffins. I really like this happy birthday here. So I'm going to take that stamp, and I've already mounted it. Let's get rid of some stuff on my desk here. And I'm in Memento black ink. And I'm going to stamp it now toward the edge over here so I have room for my cute little sailboat over here. So let's ink that up. Boy, don't look at my block, is really dirty, but I don't think I have to practice once. Let me bring in a practice paper here, or scratch paper. That would have been just fine. Okay, better safe than sorry, right? So here toward the edge, I'm going to just stamp that down. I'm going to hold it down for just a minute, let that ink sink in. Ooh, nice. Look how good that looks. Okay, we'll set that aside. And let's bring in another piece of paper. Now this, I used my stitched rectangle dies, but you necessarily wouldn't have to use. I think it's nice to have those edges on my paper, or the border. So I'm going to use this die and cut with a piece of, it's a piece of basic white in here. Boy, it is stuck in there too. It likes it in there. Maybe that's why. There we go. Going to try to flatten out those edges again, because I got it out of the die pretty rough. Okay, there we go, like that. And I'm going to take and stamp my words, the best, hope it's the best day ever, in that black Memento again. And I'm going to stamp it as well, pretty close to the top. Wait, before I do this is photopolymer, I'm going to bring in that Pierce mat, or the foam mat, or whatever the name of it is, and give it just a little bit of extra cushion there, and stamp it just like that. Let that ink sink in, and there you go. And I think I even got it straight. Nice. Okay, we're all done, I believe, with black. Let's go on now to some soft suede. This is going to be the boat part. And I'll tell you, I don't know boat part's name. I think, well, maybe I do. I think maybe this might be the mass, but I don't know. But I'm going to look at the bottom of the boat and get it square to the bottom of my paper, and not worry about where the stick with the flag is. There, that's better terminology. That's a better way I say it. Okay, and I'm going to just set that down and see how my boat is going to be straight in the water. It's not going to be crooked or cattywampus, or let that ink sink in. And look, now I have my little boat part. And then let's bring in some Poppy Parade. And the reason I picked Poppy Parade for my sails is because the string, or the twine that we used from that baseball kit, is Poppy Parade also. And I'm going to start with the left side sail. I'm going to ink that up. I want to practice with him because this is a nice solid stamp. Make sure, yeah, okay. One more time here. And I'm going to just look through the stamp, and I'm going to make sure that my flag shows clear. I don't want any sail on my flag, so I'm going to stamp it down here toward the bottom, making sure those sides of the sail are touching the stick. Like that. Ooh, I think I did pretty good. Today must be a good stamping day. Then I'm going to take that other sail, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And looky there. Nice. And then last, I'm going to bring in some of that Pacific Point, which is the same color as the cardstock we used for the base of our card, and that little, I call it reflection. I think this is the reflection in the water, and I'm going to try, not getting my head in the camera, but line that up with my boat. And looky there, now you have the reflection in the water. Now, because it is a reflection in the water, I'm going to take just a little bit of Wink of Stella, and I'm going to color that water in to make it solid. It'll be a little bit lighter where it's not stamped, but it's going to look really pretty, and it's going to have just a little reflection with the Wink of Stella shimmer. I'm going to be careful here at the sides and still keep it like at that point. But like I said, I like to have that water have just a little bit of shimmer. Now when you do something like that with your Wink of Stella, just be sure and clean off, although it didn't stick much to my tip. So when you go to the next color, you don't get your colors mixed and it doesn't mess up the color of your cardstock or of your ink. Okay, there we go. So the last piece of paper you're going to need is another piece of Pacific Point. And like I said, don't quote me, but I believe this is 3 inches by 5 1/4. After the video, I'll post it here. I'm live now on Facebook, and then I'll post it on YouTube, and then I'll get it onto my blog where all the measurements will be. Okay, so this one is going to go here, but first I want to put the card together and put this on last so that I know where it's going to go. But this one I would rather put together as my card is flat. So I'm going to just take some more of that tape runner and just set that here. And now if I was wise, I would go ahead and put the boat on now because it's easier to put things on when it's flat. But for placement purposes, I'm going to wait and do that at the very end. So let's go ahead and put our card together. I am going to bring in Stampin' Seal Plus. You could also use Tear and Tape or Tombow glue, the liquid glue like this. But I suggest you use a strong adhesive for this part. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Pacific Point here and I'm going to slip it through. Now when you cut paper, sometimes you have this edge here, and to me that's the bad edge, so I'm going to turn it over and put it so it has a smooth edge in the front. Put that back through there. And then I'm going to fold this last score line up, and I'm going to put adhesive on the back here. And I'm not going to be skimpy. I'm going to use quite a bit of adhesive and then pull that piece. Now this is 5 1/4, and really our card can be 5 1/2. So it's going to be, you have a little bit of wiggle room, I guess is what I'm trying to say down here. But I'm going to line it up and make sure it's straight along with this edge and try to get it centered in between the two sides. And maybe like that. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. If it's not perfect straight, whoops, I went over the glue that was already there. Let me put some more, because I want to do a little bit more adhesive here, because then I'm going to fold this down, right, and bring this down across there and adhere those two together. So now it looks like this. Can you see? This is what we just put together right here, and we have that piece of cardstock stuck in there, so that way when you open it, it pops up, and when you fold it, it goes down, and then it still fits in an envelope. So yay. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take this piece, and I'm going to put this on top of here. Now as you can see, this piece has to fit in that little slit that we cut. So I'm going to make sure, in fact I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, and I'm going to put adhesive right along the bottom, and I'm going to put some nice thick adhesive on there. And I'm even going to go off the edge a little bit, and then a little bit here and a little bit here. And then if I have any off the edge, I can just fold it over. But I want this to stick really good so it doesn't, I guess, interfere as it goes down into the slit that we. And then I'm going to open my card like this and lay this down. Let me get rid of this. So that looks good. I'm not going to worry about the bottom border, but I'm going to make sure that it looks good at the top and the two sides, and lay it down right there. Cute, right? Now the first couple times you put it in there, it might be, I guess you'd say, a little bit stiff, but after a while it'll slide in like smooth, because it'll make room, I guess you'd call it. But it ends up looking just like that. Is that not adorable? Now let's add that little boat to the front to give it even more character. So like I said, it's a punch bundle, so we have the little punch here. I'm going to bring in just a scrap of Poppy Parade and punch the whole thing. And we don't need that, we need these two sails. And then a piece of soft suede scrap. And this one I just need the boat part. We don't need those. And then I'm going to put it together with some liquid glue. I'm going to just take a little tiny bit of glue, Now I want it, whoops, wait, my boat's backwards. I want it to go, and can you see it? Let me grab a piece of paper that's white so you can see better that brown on the brown disc. There, that's better. So I'm going to take a little bit now. I want my boat or my sail to go like this. So I'm going to turn it over and put just a tiny, tiny bit of glue back here and up here. And the liquid glue doesn't take much, trust me. And maybe I was going to use my silicone mat, but I think I'll be okay. I got to turn it down this way. And I'm going to make sure that my sail is toward the bottom of my boat so that my flag up here shows really well. Go and let's do the same thing to this one. Got to make sure it's going to go this way. So I'm going to put just a teeny tiny bit of glue here and a teeny tiny bit of glue here. And now look how cute. I want this to go on top of this. There we go. Our sailboat looks just like that. And I'm almost happy there. Now I'm happy. I want a little bit of room between the sail and the boat. I think that's what a sailboat is supposed to look like. Okay, so now, ooh, and then I'm going to take my liquid glue here, and I'm going to figure out, because we want our boat to go about there, so you figure I can put glue up to about here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid glue here, a little bit here, maybe a little bit here to help keep those sails on my boat. And then take that and lay that, making sure that it doesn't fall off the side or doesn't go off the side, so when I put it in my envelope it won't scrape my boat off. And this time I think I'm gonna put him, no, I think I like him a little bit crooked there, so he looks like that. Then when you open it up, you have that little pop-up part there. And then last, just to finish off our little boat, I have these little star embellishments. These are from the Baseball Suite 2 that's in the mini catalog, but I'm going to take one of these big stars right here and just put it on the front, just to give my sailboat some character. So, and I think I changed my mind, and I'm not going to use the bling from the Ways of the Ocean promotion. I like to, every time I say that I kind of giggle a little bit. But there you go, because I think that is enough of our card just like that. So then when your person gets it, like I said, you can still sign your name back here on the back. The front of the card looks good, right? And they can pop it up and put it on their desk. But you can see after a while it gets to where it slides up and down a lot easier. When they're first made, they kind of a little bit stiff with the sliding or the pop-up motion, but it gets easier as you go. So there you go. There's your my card for today. I hope you like it. It was a lot of fun to make. I probably made it look harder than it is to really make. It's a really simple, cute pop-up card. So the last thing before I let you go is the retirement list comes out this Wednesday. Be sure and check back for the retirement, the carryover and the retirement list. And if you're a customer of mine and you've ordered in the last 6 months, watch your mail. The end of May, your new catalog will come straight to your mailbox. Now, if you don't have a demonstrator and you want a catalog, be sure and let me know, and I'll add you to my mail list for catalogs. Alrighty, that's what I have today. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you back here Thursday morning. Bye-bye.